Welcome to Lexopedia. Today we're diving into the fascinating world of ancient Egypt. Think of colossal pyramids, enigmatic hieroglyphs, and powerful pharaohs. But ancient Egypt was much more than just monuments and rulers. They made incredible strides in science, mathematics, engineering, art, and medicine. Over the next few chapters, we'll uncover these incredible legacies. Let's begin our journey. Our journey begins with one of humankind's most transformative inventions, writing. Imagine a world without written words, a world where knowledge lived and died with each generation. That was the reality before writing systems emerged. The ancient Egyptians, around 3200 BC, revolutionized communication with their invention of hieroglyphics. This wasn't just about etching pretty pictures on walls, though those walls became beautiful tapestries of stories. Hieroglyphs were a sophisticated system of writing, combining logograms, which represented words, with phonograms, representing sounds. Think about that for a second. They managed to capture the spoken word in visual form, a concept that seems obvious now, but was a monumental leap in human history. Imagine the power of being able to record your history, your laws, your stories, and your scientific discoveries for generations to come. This invention was a catalyst, my friends. Hieroglyphs were more than just a way for the Egyptians to communicate. They were the seed from which later writing systems sprouted. Now, hieroglyphics might seem complex, and they were, but their complexity shouldn't overshadow their impact. The very idea of a written language spread like wildfire, influencing other cultures who adapted and simplified it to suit their own needs. One of the most significant developments was the creation of the Phoenician alphabet, which took inspiration from Egyptian hieroglyphs. This alphabet, with its simplified system of representing sounds, became the foundation for the Greek alphabet and ultimately the Latin alphabet we use today. Yes, you heard that right. The letters you are reading right now can trace their lineage back to the hieroglyphs carved on temple walls in ancient Egypt. It's a beautiful example of how knowledge and innovation flow across cultures and across time. The Egyptians' pioneering work in developing a written language, however complex it might seem to us now, was a cornerstone in our ability to share information, record history, and build upon the knowledge of previous generations. Let's move on to another remarkable Egyptian innovation, their sophisticated system of timekeeping. Now the Egyptians lived in a unique environment, one intrinsically linked to the annual flooding of the Nile River. This wasn't just some inconvenience, it was the lifeblood of their civilization, depositing fertile silt that allowed for agriculture in the arid landscape. But this annual flood was also a challenge. Predicting its arrival was crucial for their survival. They needed to know when to plant, when to harvest, and when to prepare for the floodwaters. This imperative, pushed them to observe the heavens, to find a celestial clock they could rely on. They noticed that the rise and fall of the Nile coincided with the appearance and disappearance of Sirius, the brightest star in our night sky. This observation, this connection between the celestial and the terrestrial, was a breakthrough. It led them to develop a calendar based on a solar year, a calendar that was astonishingly accurate, even by today's standards. The Egyptians divided their year into 3 seasons, each with 4 months of 30 days each. They added 5 extra days, known as the epigomenal days, to bring the total to 365. This calendar became the foundation for the Julian calendar, which evolved into the Gregorian calendar we use today. The calendar on your phone, on your wall, finds its roots in ancient Egypt. We've all seen the pictures, the colossal pyramids of Giza piercing the desert sky. They're not just tombs, they're time capsules of incredible knowledge. Imagine the ingenuity it took to erect structures so massive, so precisely aligned with the stars using only rudimentary tools. The Great Pyramid, for instance, consists of over 2 million stone blocks, each weighing an average of 2.5 tons. That's heavier than a pickup truck, folks. And they managed to stack these blocks with astonishing accuracy to a height of 481 feet. That's like a 40-story building. Now, the Egyptians didn't have cranes or bulldozers. They used ramps, levers, rollers, and sheer human strength. They understood the principles of leverage and inclined planes long before Archimedes discovered them. Their methods, though seemingly simple, were incredibly effective. The precision with which they cut and transported these massive stones, fitting them together with only the slimmest of gaps, speaks volumes about their craftsmanship. This was not trial and error. This was meticulous planning and execution, a testament to their knowledge of geometry and engineering. The Egyptians' innovative spirit wasn't confined to pyramids. They were masters of using mud brick, a readily available material, to construct temples, palaces, and even entire cities. These structures, some of which still stand today, demonstrate the durability and ingenuity of their building techniques. They incorporated columns, archways, and intricate carvings into their designs, elements that would later become hallmarks of classical architecture. Think about the grandeur of ancient Rome, the soaring columns of Greece. Echoes of Egypt resonate through these civilizations. Their use of geometry wasn't just for aesthetics, it was fundamental to their construction. They understood concepts like right angles and triangulation, which allowed them to create structures that were not only beautiful but also incredibly stable. The legacy of Egyptian architecture extends far beyond the sands of time. It's a testament to human ingenuity, a reminder that even with limited resources, we can achieve extraordinary things when we combine knowledge, creativity, and sheer determination. While they might not have had stethoscopes or X-ray machines, the ancient Egyptians made remarkable strides in the field of medicine. They were pioneers in observing the human body, understanding its ailments, and developing treatments. Their approach was a blend of practicality, spiritual beliefs, and surprisingly accurate observations. Egyptian physicians, known as WNW, were highly respected figures in society. They treated a variety of illnesses, from broken bones to digestive issues, employing a combination of natural remedies, surgical procedures, and even spells and incantations. Hey, you gotta work with what you've got, right? Their knowledge wasn't just hearsay or superstition. They meticulously documented their findings on papyrus scrolls, some of which have survived to this day. These medical texts provide us with a glimpse into their understanding of anatomy, surgery, and pharmacology. The Edwin Smith Papyrus, for example, is considered the oldest known surgical text. It describes in detail various surgical procedures, including treating wounds, setting fractures, and even performing brain surgery. It's a testament to their empirical approach, their willingness to experiment and learn from their experiences. The Egyptians' knowledge of medicine wasn't limited to surgery. They were also skilled herbalists, utilizing the Nile's bounty to develop a vast pharmacopoeia. They used plants like honey, garlic, and castor oil for their medicinal properties, many of which are still recognized today. They even understood the importance of hygiene and sanitation. They practiced early forms of dentistry, using gold wires and fillings to treat dental problems. And they recognized the link between cleanliness and health, emphasizing the importance of bathing and using clean water. These practices, though seemingly basic by today's standards, were incredibly advanced for their time. Their understanding of the human body, their development of surgical techniques, and their use of natural remedies laid the groundwork for later medical advancements in Greece, Rome, and beyond. The legacy of ancient Egyptian medicine is a testament to human curiosity and the enduring pursuit of knowledge. It's a reminder that even in the absence of sophisticated technology, careful observation, experimentation, and a thirst for understanding can lead to remarkable breakthroughs. Forget your calculators and graphing software for a moment and imagine a civilization that could calculate the volume of a pyramid, predict the flooding of a river, and divide land with astonishing precision. That, my friends, was ancient Egypt. The Egyptians didn't just stumble upon their mathematical prowess, it was born out of necessity. Their very survival depended on understanding the cycles of the Nile, predicting its floods, and accurately dividing land for agriculture. They developed a practical system of mathematics based on a decimal system, just like ours. They used hieroglyphs to represent numbers and performed complex calculations involving addition, subtraction, multiplication, and even fractions. But their real genius lay in geometry. They used geometric principles to survey land, design their monumental structures, and even calculate the slope of pyramids to ensure their stability. Their understanding of triangles, squares, and circles was remarkably advanced for their time. Think about the pyramids for a moment. Those perfectly aligned sides, the precise angles, the sheer scale of these structures, all of it required a sophisticated understanding of geometry and spatial reasoning. They were able to calculate the exact volume of pyramids, which was essential for determining the amount of material and labor required for construction. They even understood the concept of pi, the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter, which they used in their architectural designs. Their mathematical knowledge wasn't kept in secret scrolls. It was passed down through generations, influencing later civilizations like the Greeks and Romans, who further developed these ideas and laid the foundation for modern mathematics. So the next time you solve a geometry problem or marvel at the architectural wonders of the world, remember the ancient Egyptians. Their legacy of numbers is woven into the very fabric of our modern world, a testament to the enduring power of human intellect. The ancient Egyptians were obsessed with the afterlife. I mean, who builds giant tombs for themselves if they don't plan on sticking around in some form? But think about it. This wasn't just about preserving the pharaoh's body. It reflected a deep belief in a journey after death. They envisioned a complex underworld, a realm of gods and monsters where your heart was weighed against a feather. Talk about cosmic accountability. This concept resonated far beyond Egypt's borders. Consider the ancient Greeks with their underworld ruled by Hades, or even the early Christians with their concepts of heaven and hell. The idea of an afterlife and judgment of our earthly deeds, well, it's a thread woven through the tapestry of human belief, and its roots trace back to the sands of ancient Egypt. Talk about a lasting legacy. Now you might be thinking, Neil, how did these Egyptian beliefs spread? Well, imagine ancient trade routes, bustling centers of commerce where people exchanged not just goods, but ideas. Egyptian concepts of the afterlife, mummification rituals, even their gods and goddesses, they found their way into other cultures. Take the god Osiris, for example. He dies and is resurrected, a narrative that parallels similar stories in other mythologies. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe it speaks to the power of ideas to transcend borders and time. It's like tracing the origins of a scientific theory. You follow the evidence, the connections, and you uncover a fascinating web of cultural exchange. And in this case, the ancient Egyptians, they were at the heart of it. When it comes to art, the ancient Egyptians weren't exactly subtle. They weren't about capturing a fleeting moment or a realistic portrait. No, their art served a purpose. It was about conveying power, divinity, and eternal life. Think about those massive statues of pharaohs, rigid and imposing, or the intricate hieroglyphs covering every surface, each one a symbol with a story to tell. But within those seemingly rigid conventions, there's an elegance, a sense of balance and harmony. Notice how they use scale to show importance? The pharaoh towering over mere mortals, just like the cosmos towers over us. These artistic conventions, they weren't just confined to ancient Egypt. They echoed through time, influencing Greek art, Roman art, even popping up in art movements thousands of years later. Fast forward a few millennia, and what do we see? Egyptian art is everywhere. From museum exhibits to Hollywood movies, those iconic images have seeped into our collective consciousness. Remember that scene in The Mummy where they open the sarcophagus and all hell breaks loose? Pure Hollywood, sure, but the imagery, straight out of an Egyptian tomb. And think about the Art Deco movement of the 1920s with its bold geometric shapes and stylized figures. It drew inspiration from Egyptian art, proving that even in the age of skyscrapers, the allure of ancient Egypt remains strong. It's like looking up at the night sky. Those constellations charted by ancient civilizations still guide our gaze. Egyptian art, much like the stars, continues to captivate and inspire us, a testament to its enduring power. From the pyramids that pierce the sky to the hieroglyphs that whisper tales of a forgotten time, ancient Egypt's legacy is all around us. It's in our calendars, our architecture, even in the way we think about life and death. It's like studying the cosmos. The more we explore, the more we realize how interconnected everything is. Ancient Egypt, for all its mysteries, reminds us that we are part of a much larger story. A story that stretches back through time and connects us all. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into ancient Egypt's contributions to our modern world, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Lexopedia for more fascinating content. See you next time.